So I'm going to give a quick high-level overview. So basically, the bottom line from everything that we have been talking about here in this series is that the number one way to break cycles once and for all, these relationship cycles, or even other things that you have going on in your life, it may not be just unhealthy relationships, is to correctly identify the root cause and then reprogram your brain in order to be able to create what it is that you actually want in your life. So when we're talking about reprinting here, we're talking about the reprogramming. And in this work that I do here and that I've been sharing here, one of the things that's really important is to connect with all three aspects of your being, which I define as your cognitive, your brain understanding what is going on exactly, and then your somatic, which is actually it's sort of a two-part, which is your body. Somatic is your body, and it's releasing and connecting with, first connecting with your body, releasing traumas or memories or experiences that are stored in your body, and then also taking new actions is another way to embody these changes somatically. And then also energetically, a lot of the reprinting that you've heard about today that Chris and Shelley have shared is energetic reprinting that's guided, that we do together in order to release messages that you have taken on subconsciously from experiences that you've had in the past, and you are carrying those messages forward. So we want to create a new imprint in your mind from those experiences that you had, so you're no longer operating from those messages that you experienced. And so why this process works when other things have not worked, like you heard from Shelley, therapy was helpful for her, but then this got her to a different shift. You heard from Chris commenting that he's feeling better now than he has maybe his whole life. So that's because you are integrating all three parts of your being, which is your cognitive, somatic, and energetic, right? And that's what that integration is, what allows the shifts to actually happen. And how do we do that in our everyday life? So we want, there's a three, I explain it as a three-part process, but as I mentioned, it is fluid. And so you might, so I'll explain it. So first you have to connect with yourself. So connecting with your body, a lot of people who've experienced trauma or difficult experiences have disconnected from their body because your body stores those memories and those experiences. If you connect with your body, it can be very painful. Connecting with your emotions. You heard Chris talk about that one of the things that he really had to work on first before we could even get to the reprinting is connecting with his emotions. So the first pillar of this process, or the first step of this process, is connecting with self. So that that self is your body, your emotions, and also your intuition. So being really connected. Why is that important? That is important so that you can access your subconscious and actually start doing some of this work. Otherwise, your body will throw up resistances. You heard Marie talk about in video 3 how she had a shield, her tension in her shoulders and back, which she called her shield. And that was her body resisting, opening up to some of these changes and releasing some of these experiences that were stored. So it's important to connect first so that you can actually release and reprogram. So then that's the second step, of course, second and third step. The second step is clearing. So Chris talked about physical clearing. Often there's also emotional clearing that needs to happen, allowing, acknowledging those shadow emotions, anger, guilt, resentment, injustice, all those things, really acknowledging it and allowing it to come out. Anger is another one, right? Allowing those emotions to come out. And then the third step, or the third pillar of this process, is then the reprinting and the reprogramming. So that's sort of the overall process for this reprinting that we've been talking about. And as I alluded to, these three pillars, the connecting, clearing, and then reprinting, can happen fluidly. So you might clear out, you might connect with yourself and then clear something out and reprint something, a particular experience from your childhood. And then you may have something else. So like Chris mentioned, right now we're working on a financial block, right? So, so there's clearing going on and reprinting around finances. We had previously done some other clearing and reprinting on other things in his life. So it's fluid based on different things that you have going on. So it's not always completely linear. So that's your super Cliff Notes version on this process. And of course, you all by now probably know that I will be walking you personally through this process in a program that you get to be a transformation experience. I do provide really personal attention to everyone that I work with, even in that group context. And it's not a class. We've already done the class portion, really. It's about how do I now bring this process into my life and actually make changes.